Hello and welcome to the Generals Reviews. I'm Chris McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80 from the Full Force podcast, and I'm joining Justin Bell from What's on Joe Mind on GeneralsJoes to bring you this review of the Vitruvian hacks Athenian Warrior, Myrmidon Warrior and Disciple of Eurayle from Boss Fight Studio. Before Justin takes a look at the figures, let's have a quick look at some background on the Athenian. One of the major city-states of ancient Greece was Athens, and they of course had a rather successful and strong military presence. Their army was made up of hoplites and attendants, much like any Greek army of the time. The hoplites were usually heavily armed and well-trained free men, and they all had an attendant, usually a poor citizen or a trusted slave. The attendants would carry the hoplite's shield until battle and also schlep around their baggage, like a warrior's caddy. Hoplites were famous for the phalanx formation in battle, where they would line up in close order, locking their shields together and poke their spears out, wahey, to create a difficult situation for oncoming attack. The Athenian warrior takes its cues from the classic Greek hoplite soldier in uniform and weapon loadout, and makes for another fantastic addition to the hack's ranks. Let's have a look at that figure now with Justin.
Thank you very much for joining me. I am continuing our next review in the second batch of the Vitruvian Hacks Kickstarter shipment. And this time we're going to be focusing a little bit on the nameless and the faceless, the backbone of the various armies fighting these Gorgon wars. And the first guy we're going to look at here is the Athenian Warrior. He's a warrior from Athens, Greece. A little bit different looking than the Spartan. He's considered a more ceremonial kind of strategic soldier, whereas the Spartan is just kind of a raw, in the dirt, highly skilled fighting machine. The Athenians are kind of more structured, more organized, kind of, that sort of more formal army, really proficient at naval warfare. All this stuff is kind of on the bio card that comes with the Athenian Warrior. And you're going to notice a trend kind of with each figure that I'm looking at with this run. It's going to be the Athenian Warrior, it's going to be the Myrmidon Warrior, and it's going to be the Disciple of Eurayle. All three of them kind of definitely have some similarities, which is what happens when you run into a toy line like this, where they make a really strong foundational figure buck and then kind of build it out with different armored complements, where the key really becomes the deco and kind of the way the weapons and stuff kind of fit together. The Undead Warrior, that Eternal Struggle convention exclusive, is essentially this figure in translucent purple. So we kind of have an idea of structurally of what this figure looks like. The armor is more decorative and elaborate than the Spartans. You kind of see the decoration here, the little star logos on his shoulder pads, the kind of trim and the layered armored skirt there. Even the leg armor's got some intricate sculpting. I pointed this all out with the Undead Warrior figure, and also you'll see some similarities between this guy and Talos, the Eternal Warrior, kind of the bronze soldier that we looked at already as well. A little bit more decorative. There's a nice ceremonial helmet that the Athenian warrior comes with, and a more kind of traditional down and dirty helmet with no ornaments at all, just kind of the metal bowl that fits over his head. We saw both of these helmets actually with the Ultimate Spartan exclusive from the New Jersey Collectors Convention. So none of these parts are really especially new to us, but we haven't seen them really in this color and this combination before. He's got a really nice, really great-looking bald head. Everybody we've seen so far pretty much has been, with hair or some kind of facial hair. The colors, the white, the red, the gray, it all complements itself very nicely. He really stands out among all the more kind of down and dirty, sleek Spartans. He's less of a hardcore fighter, more of a military strategist, but he complements the Spartans really nicely. They mentioned in the bio card also that the Athenians and the Spartans are actually putting aside their differences in order to fight the Gorgons. You can see his armor's got this little sheath in the back that the spear can slide through. We'll pull that out. Like every figure comes with a spear. It's a cool spear. I don't know if I need 50 of them like I have, but it's really cool. He's got this fantastic deco on the shield. I believe I did a little research on that, and I think it's considered the barbarian. I think the Athenians thought that kind of face that represented the barbarian and would instill fear in their enemies. So that was the idea, that while they were charging into battle with this shield facing their enemies would be frightened of the barbarian and would give them the edge in battle. Kind of a neat concept and a very nice deco. Take the shield off. You can see he's also got the sheath, the strap, and the sword. Fits in his hand pretty nicely. You can take this sheath off. And there's a close-up look at the sword and the head, the sandaled feet. He's a great looking figure, one of the better soldiers of the line, and they managed to take some similar design aesthetics and really make some pretty cool and different things out of him, which is very much appreciative. So that's a look at the Athenian Warrior. He is in Wave 2 of the Vitruvian Hex carded figures, and we will look at the Myrmidon Warrior coming up next.
The Myrmidons were a legendary group of warriors that fought in the Trojan War under Achilles, played by Brad Pitt in the movie Troy. The legend goes that Zeus created them from a colony of ants when repopulating the island of Aegina, and that is how they get their name, as Myrmex is the Greek word for ant. Once again, Boss Fight have created a very cool representation of these warriors with a really striking black and gold colour scheme. Here's Justin with the review.
And alongside the Athenians, we have the Myrmidon Warrior. The Myrmidon Warriors were the backbone of Achilles' army during the Trojan War, and Greek mythology actually says that the Myrmidons were created by a colony of ants by Zeus. I don't see any ants here, but I do see this really awesome scorpion deco on their shield, and that may be kind of an homage to the mythology about being created by a colony of ants. But the Myrmidon Warrior on his own is pretty damn spectacular. Anybody who's kind of looked at the Talos Eternal Warrior, the Bronze Warrior, kind of the Kickstarter exclusive that kicked off this whole line, you'll really notice that this is essentially the same figure, just in a normal deco underneath all the bronze colors. He's got this great kind of scale armor. I'm not sure if it's actually supposed to be chainmail or if it's just kind of layered leather or fabric. I'm terrible at history, so I really can't tell you like at what point this armor would have converted from just different kinds of leather and fabric and stuff to actual mail. I'm assuming that did not happen in the Greek mythology period, but I'm sure somebody in the YouTube comments will correct me if I'm wrong. I really love the colors of the figure, kind of dark green / black, with this awesome gold trim kind of everywhere. And you heard in a previous video how I talked about figures that come with the kind of crisscross pattern on the helmet. You can see that's the case with the Myrmidon Warrior. This is actually a Myrmidon helmet, and it's got this great plume up top. It does not have the tail on the back like the Spartans do, and it's got like this kind of V-shaped pattern here. And underneath the helmet he's got a great bald head, kind of similar to the Athenian Warrior. Darker skin, obviously. The deco is really great. I just really love the dark color contrasted with the gold trim. He's got a sword here. He's got a sword in his sheath. So he's got one short sword and one medium sword. Unlike many figures, the Myrmidon Warrior actually does not come with a spear, which is okay. I've got enough spears to choke a horse, so I don't need a spear with him too. But what really makes him shine, I think, is kind of that gold on dark deco. And, of course, the shield with this fantastic scorpion tampo, which I already showed you, so I don't know why I'm showing you that again, but I am, so deal with it. He's got this little sheath on the back for the spear that doesn't exist, but, the cool thing is you've got a sword here, and you can put the sword back there instead. So this line is very versatile. One thing that the Boss Fight Studio folks really tried to do was to kind of, make each of these components flexible. So, a figure like this who has the strap that doesn't come with a spear, well, it can also fit the sword. And same with these sheaths. One interesting thing you can see about the sheath here, it actually has a slot on the bottom. So if you can use it for the thin swords, you can use it for longer swords. This sword is kind of broad to fit in there, but you can see the tip kind of sticks out the end a little bit. So you can use the sheath for those longer swords as well. They try to make all these different parts versatile. They reuse parts a lot, obviously, because tooling is expensive. But with those reused parts, they also add enough variety so they can reuse those same parts, but also have them be kind of versatile still. But yeah, it's a really fantastic look overall. It's a great looking figure. Obviously, some dark armor with some light gold trim. no real parts that we haven't seen before, but this new rendition with these similar parts just looks really vibrant and really exciting, and is a figure that I thoroughly enjoy a lot more than I thought I would. I couldn't even tell you really who the Myrmidon Warriors were before this figure was released, but in the period of investigation following getting these figures, I learned more about them and actually really have learned to appreciate them. I really enjoyed the Achilles story back when I first studied the Greek mythologies back in middle school. So any kind of links to Achilles is all good in my book, and this figure certainly does that. So let's look at the Myrmidon Warrior, a figure I believe used from Wave 3 of the carded Vitruvian Hacks figures. And next we will take a look at the Disciple of Eurayle.
The Disciple of Eurayle is largely a boss fight original and has come about due to the background given to Eurayle for their own storyline. Instead of turning people to stone, which she can do if it so pleases her, she bites them, injecting the victim with venom that makes the poor sucker an obedient slave. This has made for a very cool green skin repaint of the male buck, and a figure that I want to army build as much as possible. But enough from me, let Justin fill you in with all the cool details.
Now, it's interesting that we're looking at this figure directly after looking at the Myrmidon Warrior, because this is kind of case in point of what we've been talking about, where you get the same figure with the same armor in slightly different colors and slightly different weapons and a different head, and you end up with some real versatility in the line, and the Disciple of Eurayle is a perfect example of that. Like Eurayle herself, I wasn't really sure what to make of this figure during the Kickstarter campaign, but I've become really fully invested in Eurayle's little corner of the world at this point. Not just Eurayle herself, but also her awesome disciples. And this figure has really, really appealed to me over the past few weeks. This figure is terrific. A lot of it is built around the Myrmidon Warrior, as I said, with this layered armor, kind of the armored pauldrons here, the decorative leg armor. It's the same figure, same base figure, same helmet, same armor, same everything. It's got a different head sculpt than the Myrmidon Warrior. Looks, very cool, very distinct, unique looking head sculpt. The pale green skin is really, really haunting. He's got some really nice snake tattoos on each arm, kind of designating where his true loyalties lie. He's also got this really nice pale gold shield with the snake deco on it too. It's really impressive how they've created some variety with these shields, using the same exact tooling for each shield, but adding some real tempo variation to it to make them very cool looking. If you go to vitruvianfacts.com and find a figure that comes with a shield and click on the shield link, it'll take you to the overall accessory page for the shield, and you can kind of see all those different tampos together, and it's really, really cool to see them all lined up. And I understand as I'm recording this, even though I've kind of got this episode scripted out, I've said really about 18,000 times in 12 minutes, so I apologize about that, but deal with it. He comes with these two snake blades, the same ones that came with Eurayle herself, to kind of tie him together with her. Same with these little snake twists. And the story of the Disciples of Eurayle is essentially that Eurayle, unlike her sisters who like to turn people into snake monsters or stone, she likes to infect humans with kind of an obedience venom, sort of, and bend them to her will for some nefarious purpose, sort of as of yet unrevealed. And the disciples are some of those men that she has injected with her own unique venom to make them follow her obediently, which is a pretty cool twist on the whole Gorgon mythology. And nobody really knows why Eurayle is doing this, not even her sisters. Just so makes you wonder kind of what her story is and what's to come. He comes with this Myrmidon armor that has a little slot on the back. Since the sword already goes in the sheath over here, you could probably kind of stick one of those little snake blades in there. There's all sorts of different things you could do with that. But the Myrmidon Warrior, the Disciple of Eurayle, is a surprisingly great figure. Really, some minor color variations make him stand out amongst some of the others, and I actually enjoyed this figure so much. Once I got him in hand, I actually pre-ordered a few more just to create a little army that could follow Eurayle and provide her the support she needed, because she's, like I said, she's become one of my favorite figures and one of my favorite characters, and I want to do whatever I can to kind of bolster her forces. So right next to him there, you can see the Myrmidon Warrior. You can kind of see how similar they really are, from helmet to armor to everything in between. So yeah, they really are pretty similar structurally, but they end up looking quite a bit different just via their paint schemes. And here's the Athenian Warrior too. You can see all three of them all lined up. These are the three figures we covered in this particular review, all kind of the nameless and the faceless soldiers of the Gorgon battle. And they've all, pretty similar from a structural standpoint. Armor, skirts, armored legs, cool helmets, but the small little variations, the gold trim here, the straight metal helmet rather than the plumage there, the green skin and tattoos there, it really makes them stand out amongst each other and look pretty unique, even though they're the same kind of core figure. And of course their bios really help too, help them stand out and appear a little bit different than their peers. So I can already kind of see the battles forming. It's been really an exercise in frustration a little bit over the past few weeks as I've been cataloging all these figures, reviewing them, getting them into VitruvianFacts.com, that I haven't just been able to get out and play with them yet. So I'm really trying to get these videos done so I can actually interact with them a little bit, customize a little bit, set up little battle scenes. They're really, really fun to play with. There's now 18,002 times I've said the word really. And so I'm just really ecstatic to get these up on my shelf and really have some fun with them. So with that being said, that is this segment of the General's reviews on the Vitruvian Hack Shipment 2 from Kickstarter. And thank you very much for watching. As always, if you liked what you saw, please subscribe to the channel or throw the video a like. If you didn't like what you saw, leave me some comments down in the section below. Tell me how much you hate every time I say the word really. And from there on, we will keep on going and hopefully keep on giving you the content that you like to see. And thank you very much for watching. As always, thanks to Chris from the Full Force Podcast for putting these together. And we will see you soon.
Thanks for watching this review by Justin Bell of GeneralsJoes.com and What's on Joe Mind, and from myself, Chris McLeod, aka Diagnostic80 from the Full Force. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and let us know what you think on any of our numerous social networking platforms. Goodbye and see you next time for another Generals Review.